Also, this week, it's going to be the start of the 2025-2026 Kenya Volleyball Federation season, and a lot has been going on over the past 1 month as they do get ready. Well, I'll be introducing the president of the Kenya Volleyball Federation in a short while, but first, bottom right of your screen is our sign language interpreter, Lucy Mwaura. So in studio with me, I've got the president of the Kenya Volleyball Federation, Mr. Charles Nyaberi. Karibu sana, President.
Asante sana. Thank you very much.
Well, and we also would, let's just, before we get straight, deeper into the coming season, let's take a look back at the 2024-2025 season with a lot of, the introduction of new competition, the Kenya Cup, and also seeing the emerging youngsters, performing very well as we came to a close, and also the Malkia strikers going out in a global competition and coming in through. Just take us through that.
Yeah, thank you very much. We are just about to step into the 2025-2026 new season. It kicks off, it volleys off on Thursday. So between 6th and 9th at Kasarani, we'll have the opening matches of the first leg of the season. But just coming out of off-season, it's very good to note that our 2024-2025 season was very, very, very active. It had a lot of activity. It was a very vibrant season. First of all, it was a season with just before that, our teams had done very, very well at the Africa Games. We had the resurgence of the Wafalme Stars, that is the male counterparts of Malkia strikers. We hear so much about Malkia strikers, sometimes we tend to forget. Okay, the Wafalme had just hit form, and for the first time, they had actually gotten on the podium finish at the Africa Games in Ghana. For the first time, Kenya men clinched the silver. That's number 2. The best that we'd been before that was number 3. So that was a very good start of that year, 2024. Malkia strikers, of course, without the services of a lot of the professionals who could not link up with the team, people like Sharon, we got the 3rd place, which we were satisfied with because half of the team, were juniors whom we were introducing. So with that one, then also the last season, some of the most notable things that happened is also the emergence of our age group teams. Yeah. We realized that since 2002, which is the last time that we participated actively in the age group under 20 and under 18, and went on to represent Africa in Poland and Croatia, there had been a small lull. So we realized it's about time that we woke up those teams. And thankfully, our under 20 women's team, lived up to the billing and took first position. They won the African Championships in Cameroon, beating powerhouses Cameroon and Egypt and Tunisia and Nigeria. And we are now waiting to pick up more points and move on to represent Africa in the World Under 21 Championships, because it will be a year later. Now, the men, not to be left behind, the under 20 men also had a podium finish. They were 3rd. They took the bronze with very, very impressive performance. I must here note that the under 20 team had the most valuable player, Tata, our young lady, is also a member of the senior Malkia strikers.
Actually, President, let me just interrupt you at that point.
Yeah.
You mentioned about points.
Yeah.
That the under-20 women's team will require to qualify for the global competition. Just explain that, because we know that, yes, there are teams that easily qualify based on points, and the rest, I mean, at the senior level, the rest is through continental qualification.
Yeah, what happens is that the FIVB came up with this system to avoid using a one-off when maybe some people could be caught off form, or some people could have just hit form. Now, for all these games, for the World Championships, the team must attain a certain number of points, and then at the same time also there will be a direct qualifier also. There will be a qualifier, but this qualifier will be very much influenced by the number of, by the tally of points that they'll have gathered in FIVB licensed competitions, like 3 or 4 or 5. And we have already, we are off to a good start. Both teams still, have a very good chance. The women under 20 are right now, top of that particular group. So we are waiting now for the next phase next year, when there will be now a qualifier proper, and also 1 or 2 other championships that may be brought up, so that then there'll be the cumulative number of points will now decide Africa's qualifier.
Very well. So you can continue with the 24-25.
Yeah, now the 24-25. So with that season, we ended up the season last year with the GSU getting back on and winning the men's championships, followed by Kenya Defence Force, and the final was a real thriller. Then number 3, Prisons, who are the defending champions, slipped down to number 3. And then Equity, which has not been among the top 4, took the 4th position. The women's champions were KCB, followed by Kenya Pipeline, and Prisons Kenya. Then 4th, was DCI, which is an upcoming team full of youths. Now, actually,
let's talk about the men's competition, because there are 2 teams I want to mention: Trailblazers and KPA. Their response to what went, to that season, what can expect?
Yeah, actually, the finals, we for the first time we had a home and away competition. Then we went to the round of 16, and it was a real cliffhanger. The 4 teams these 4 teams ending up in the finals, it shut out regulars, KPA and Trailblazers. And as we know right now, Trailblazers is one of the few. That one and KCB are some of the few ones that are trying to get a very professional outlook, both in approach to training and also even in the engagement of players. So it was it was very competitive. It was very, very good, and we are happy now to see new teams emerging. Like Equity came up very strong in an earlier competition in Eldoret, the Eldoret International, the Kipchumba Karuri International, which I'll mention, which was also a record breaker, for that time. So it is very good to see, first of all, the men's sector being very competitive, and the fact that we are now making an impression. We have broken into the top 3 at the African level, and now I think we are all poised for our first appearance at the global level, very, very hopefully. Now, we had a very good season, and one of the biggest championships we had was sponsored. Our main sponsor was Honorable Kipchumba Karuri. It was held in Eldoret, at Eldoret Polytechnic, and also at Wareng, and it had a record number of 184 teams from the locality, from all over the country, and also from outside the country. We had 6 teams coming from Uganda. So this was a record, and we are looking forward again.
So how did you manage, 184 teams? And we're talking age grades, we are talking the elite teams, and we are also looking at two genders, men and women.
Yeah, what we did is we engaged and partnered with the Uasin Gishu branch. And we started, first of all, teams registered from the locality, from the branch itself, and also from neighboring. These are community-based teams. These were not clubs. They registered and they had their own sector. So they started a bit earlier. Of course, we could not have finished this in 3 days. They started a bit earlier and started building up such that by the time we were having the competition proper, the Kipchumba Karori competition proper, we were like at quarterfinals. We now had like the top 16 men, 16 men from the local side, from the community-based teams. So they were joined by a few other community teams from as far out as Nyeri and Sikri in Homa Bay, and then it continued like that. But for the elite teams, we had our normal league teams, plus also some other clubs, institutional teams. North Rift has plenty of talent,
yes.
And every time we have our championships there, we are able to unearth a good number of players who are then picked up and engaged by the clubs. So the season ended very well, and I want to say that the icing on the cake was our adding the Kenya Cup. Kenya Cup was a unique tournament because we realized we can't just rely on
the league.
Yeah, the league. And towards the end of the season, we had to find a way of topping it up. So we introduced the elite. It's an elite competition, and we had very high standards. And all the games were played indoors, to make sure that we measure up to international standards. And it also brought out the best in a lot of our teams, and it was a very good way to end the season.
Actually, let's talk about the Kenya Cup. I mean, in detail, what were the biggest lessons learned? Because I did attend the matches, and I could see that you had to, first of all, the teams had to stick to timelines.
Yeah,
I mean, we know when you tell somebody that game, I think it's very few sports, stick to that, very strict timeline where you say we are starting at 9. Then it starts at 9:14. How then were you able to manage this to keep it strict?
We had our sports organizing department drill. We had meetings. The National Executive Committee had held meetings with these teams, and we did rehearsals, we did drills, we did kind of like rehearsing every single day what was going to happen. And every team was told exactly when to be on site, exactly when to take the court. And we want to avoid this traditional way of this laissez-faire way which even like for the press, when the press have maybe kept a certain slot for a certain time, they come and they find the match has not even started. We want it to be we want to stick to time, and we're going to take that model that we started. The technical sides, besides sports organizing secretary, Mr. Oronje, we had actually the technical coordinator. The driver was my own deputy, the deputy president, Paul Bitok, who is a seasoned international coach, and he's widely traveled, and he has a lot of experience. So the two, Mr. Oronje, the three of them, Mr. Oronje, then his deputy, Alfred Chedotum, and Bitok, drilled the teams. We even had also the referees and the officials. Everything had to be click on time, because some of the games we were going to do live streaming.
Yes.
Not just here, but live streaming abroad. And when you have blocked a certain time, it's good for you to. And we want to take that model and roll it over to all our matches, to all our our programs, our league and our tournaments, so that our games are time bound. And that way, and also even other things, also even the protocols.
Yes.
We want to stick to the international levels. We also want to, even the outlook, even the uniforms and everything. We don't want to be left behind. We are through with the traditional approach now.
All right. Well, actually, let me just mention that because you've spoken about the protocols and you had your pre-season, technical meeting. The coaches were involved, the referees were involved. Let's say everyone within that ecosystem was there. And one of the things that Ron just spoke, to the referees commission was about what is known as the 32-minute pre-match protocol.
That's
just
right.
take us through that. Because now, if somebody goes for a game, say they want to watch Pipeline play against KCB, they know that for that half hour, at least they can be patient enough. Kenyans get impatient. Kwani inaanza saa ngapi?
That's right. So if, for example, a match, if it's been said out there that the match is starting at 10, it means 32 minutes before that, the teams have to be on site. They have to be on court, ready. Then from there, as the captains are doing the registration protocols, there is the official warm-up, which is controlled by the referees. The referees first are introduced, the teams are introduced, then they start the warm-up. The warm-up is controlled because so that there is no, there are no accidents, no little bits of people being hit with balls, dividing the net so that each team has one half at any one time. They start attacking from the left, then they go to the center, then they go to the right, alternating like that. And then after that now, after that warm-up, the starting six are now announced by the announcer. Everybody gets out. The starting six are called in, plus the libero, because the libero can come in and out, anytime when there is a side out. And after that introduction, now then we can start. But you see the 32-minute protocol has beats that are also timed. Like even the warm-up on one sector is timed. Then you move on to the other, then you move on to the other. Then you have now the starting six being announced, being unveiled, and the fast service has to start. Click on time. This we are looking forward. We are doing this. We are strictly adhering to this, looking forward to a time when we hope, and we hope this will come sooner than later, when we will have live transmissions. Live transmissions, you need to be click on time, because people, any airtime that is lost in waiting, it discourages
yes,
the media transmitter, the broadcast. And you see, side by side with that, we also have now live streaming. And our live streaming, now our games are of interest all over the world. So if you're going to do live streaming and somebody is waiting on that side, you don't want to delay. And also the fact is, when you do that, it also eats into the next game. It is like a serial kind of bad accident, which you need to do your best to avoid.
Well, in relation to that, within that 32-minute protocol, I think, that players being announced and all that, I think what's the plan with player data? Because, I know I can go pick out this player A from Prisons, player B from, say, GSU or from KWS or KDF, Kenya Army. What's being done such that if I'm a fan, I'm able to follow a player of interest?
What we have started doing, and we have covered quite a bit of that plan, is that we are going digital, such that each team's there is the TC4 team, team list, which the team fills with all the details, the shirt numbers and the details of each one of their players, plus the reserves, plus the officials. Now, this one is going, we have now our website. We were assisted by the Sports Journalists Association of Kenya to start our website. So what will happen is that these details, you can actually access them now from our website. So that, like, instead of you having to come to physically look for a copy of, say, the lineup of a particular team before you make your details, even before you come and you know, say, KCB is going to play Pipeline, you can download that and be ready so that by the time, even if you don't come to the field, wherever you are, you can download it from our website and follow the game. And you don't even need to be told, even when the player is facing the wrong way, you're not seeing the name. You just need to see the number, and the number is conspicuously displayed on both the shots and the whatever. And, and so the digitalization is also very good for results. And also even penalties, things like, say, if there is a red card, you'll see it. And if there's a yellow card, you'll say how many yellow cards have come. And also, even when we are deciding at the end of the championships who is the most valuable player, it's not by guesswork. It's not a political decision. It's a digital add-up. The computer never goes wrong. It shows the pluses and minuses of each player, so you can see how they rank. So, like now, the awards now we're able now to give the ranks, the awards immediately after the match. The most valuable player of that particular match is already decided by the end of the final whistle. You can see who was.
Actually, yes, it's very easy. Best blocker in leg one. The numbers are there. If you
it's all there. Everything is there. So, and that way, it also avoids doubts and appeals which are necessary. Of course, we have a jury on site, just in case. In
case there is a tie.
In case, and also, in case somebody is not satisfied, so that they can feel that their grievances have been looked into.
Okay. Well, let's also talk about something that we've seen. Next to the benches, and there's a table there. Coaches and referees.
Yeah.
They've not been the best of friends.
That's true. Yeah.
So what's being done such that there is that cordial relationship from from the technical benches and from the officials, the touch judges and the umpires?
It's Daniel, it's like you read our minds. First and foremost, the aim of every coach, sometimes they become overly ambitious, is to win and get the best. But you see, the thing is there are two sides. So we always say, let the best team win, and under a cloud of efficient refereeing, efficient officiating. So what we did on Saturday, 2 days ago, we had a joint training of coaches and referees together. So that also we wanted to get from them where do they think we could do better. But the emphasis here is on even the coaches. They need to also learn the rules and have them at their fingertips, so that even when their team does something wrong, they can already tell. And also with the latest now, there has been a revision of the rules, because the aim of the Federation of International Volleyball is to have as few unnecessary stoppages as possible. The adage is keep the ball flying. The game becomes more interesting when there is continuous flow. So what they've done, the second touch before the attack, they've relaxed not completely removed, but relaxed the rule, so that, you know, where, for example, there used to be what we were calling either double touch or rolling balls. It has been minimized, so that because if the second touch has a bad set that rolls or looks like a double touch, it doesn't give them advantage, because it means it actually undermines their delivery to the attacker.
Yes.
It does not affect the opponent at all. So those are some of the rules that have been. So what we did is our sports organizing secretary, our coaches commission, and the referees commission together took the joint group together through the rules again, so that they all agreed and came to a consensus on the interpretation, so that, you know, those disagreements come out of that. And then two, sometimes when the referees are a bit lax, when the coaches try their hand and they realize the referee is lax or undecided, then they take advantage. So that is part of what we were doing on Saturday, that the referees have to be, first of all, they have to be fair. Fair in the sense that there is no leaning. Then they have to be knowledgeable. Then they have to be firm. Firmness is of essence. So we'll continue doing this every so often, mainly picking out case studies of things that were done right, in the correct way, and the things that were done wrong. So that with that, you know, we have.
And on that point, how much of video analysis is being done, especially to, you know, keep improving the refereeing standards?
It is a lot. We are now doing it a lot, because what is happening is that now we are actually having on tape all our games. And the referees, the teams, and even anybody interested can now access that. Because the thing is, you can only learn, you can only improve by seeing, going back and having a review of what you did with strength, what earned you more points, and also where you went wrong. So we are working with our media commission and also our marketing commission, so that side by side with the live streaming, we can also have the games recorded, and later on, in some of those cases, of course, with the assistance of the coaches commission, they can do slow motion beats and things like that. And especially outstanding places where things were right, and outstanding even where decisions were wrong on the part of the, and also even the behavior of the spectators. Sometimes, you know, they also get out of hand.
Okay.
Well, so that one is in our digitalization. Those are some of the things we're looking at. We're looking at that. We are hoping to get our coaching commission to have a library of such matches, such classic matches, which can be shared with our affiliates free of charge.
Well, let's talk about something else. In managing the league, one of the things that we've witnessed is when the continental club championships come in, you find that teams have had to do a lot of catch-up. How are you doing the balance on that for the calendar?
What is happening is that actually, because of scarcity of resources, most of our players are trained in the hands of the club coaches. Most of the build-up is, okay, we end up having, like, say, a month's training for the national teams before they go. But we rely a lot on the club coaches. But even when they're at club level, the selected national team coaches are advised, and they actually do go around and monitor and give backup to the coaches who are handling these other players at club level. But ideally, what we're looking forward to, and we have discussed this with our sponsors, whom we are very grateful to. Right now, our main sponsor, MozartBet, has thankfully last week come on board. When our African president was here for 4 days, giving us backup and doing consultation and meeting our supporters. And when we sat with MozartBet, they agreed, they saw the need. They did two major things which we had requested for. One, to include the men's team in the sponsorship package, because the boy child was feeling left out. Since they are performing, and they are really, really performing, and we hope that they can be on that trend. So that was one of the things. The other thing was we convinced our sponsor, MozartBet, to increase the sponsorship from 10 million to 15 million annually, and we signed up. So that will enable us, therefore, to afford to bring the national team for longer training periods before an assignment. And even when there's no assignment and the coaches want to fine-tune, they can call the team into place for a day or two. But the other thing that we are also going, we pointed it out when we visited the permanent secretary, Mr. Elijah Mwangi, and his team, and the ministry were very cooperative, is the fact that the cost of hiring Kasarani, the indoor court, is prohibitive. 60,000 per day. How many days can you afford? 60,000 is out of this world.
2 weeks is 700, which you would need for a camp is 720. 14 times 6, 840,000.
And you see, for a team like Malkia Strikers, 14 days is not enough. You need a month. Yeah, you need a month. So, and you see also, it's not just the indoor. The cost is not only the indoor bit, but there's also the maintenance of the team. There is the medical bit, and you know. But we hope to get there. So what we are saying on that end is that we need to have a longer preparation period, and so that they can have loading, then they can have the recovery, then get on to the technical bit.
Well, talking about Kasarani and infrastructure, what's being done? Because I think for most people at home, we have grown up playing volleyball outdoors. But here is the reality. When you go to international competitions, you have got to play indoors. And for Kenya to host an international competition, Kenya hasn't hosted enough, an Africa, Cup Nations or even a club championship since 2015. The reason being, we have only one venue, Kasarani. What's being done to have more venues that meet such standards around?
We have engaged the ministry. First of all, we want to announce that we are very lucky and happy and very grateful to the Ministry of Defense, because they put up an indoor court at their complex in Langata, at the DOD indoor court. It might be a bit small, but it meets the requirements. All we need now to do is get a floor, a gay floor, is get, and also expand the sidelines, not the sidelines, but put in utility rooms. There are utility rooms which are a must, like you need a physio room, you need a changing room, you need a referee's room, like that. And also we need also to talk to the management so that the transmission points for the media can be spelled out. But the basic structure is there, and we have been able to use it. So now at least we'll be able to host, we'll be able to bid. And we have even, one of the things that we talked with our continental president about is that we want to get back to our hosting habits. We used to host some of the best tournaments here, both Cup of Nations and also club championships and even youth. So we are seriously going to bid. First of all, we have sent in our bid for Zone 5 club championships for men and women in February. Then we have also put in a bid. We are now, after encouragement and the consultation with the ministry and our continental body, Madam Bushra Hajij, the president, who was here for 4 days, we are also going to make a bid for the Africa Cup of Nations, and also which will now qualify the national teams for the World Championships. And also we are going to make a bid for African Club Championships.
Well, as we come to a close, President, let's talk about beach volleyball and the plan for the year and how you want to build up such that we can have a team in LA 2028.
Yeah, what we are doing is that every single competition and technical program that we are having is supposed to gear us towards qualifying for and participating in LA 2028. This is for men and women beach volleyball, and for the men's volleyball and women's volleyball. What is happening is that for the beach volleyball, we had a real shoot. We went all the way up. We qualified and went and participated in Tokyo Olympics for the beach volleyball. We had Gaudensia Makoha and Praxidis Agala representing us after winning Continental Cup. So what we want to do is, first of all, we have to start at the base, and that is where we have a lot of emphasis on youth. That is where we are doing a lot of age group competitions. For beach volleyball, we already assembled a team that is going to do service in the Anoka Games in Angola next month. And we decided as part of the preparation to send these two teams, under 17 teams, for boys and girls, two pairs each. We sent them to Burundi, actually to a senior tournament, a place where they went and played seniors from the other teams in the 12 countries in Zone 5, specifically to get them off the ground, because beach volleyball is not yet played at the school levels. So then for the men and women, we are building up. We are getting the adoption, the transition from school, like now, end of this year, some players will graduate from schools.
Yes.
So we have identified, our youth commission has identified some of those players, and we are assisting in placing them so that at least we don't lose them. We lose a lot of players in between school and club level. Then we also making sure that our seasons are complete and elaborate and full and meaningful. That's why we have introduced tournaments like the Kipchumba Karuri International, like the Kenya Cup, so that our players and the coaches are engaged on a continuous basis. We've also got our, we are increasing the number, we have increased the number of players whom we have allowed to go on professional stints outside, because when they come back, it's the national team that gains. Okay. Above all, we want to be very thankful to our sponsors. Our chief sponsor is the Ministry of Youth Affairs, Creative Economy and Sports. We are very lucky. We have a very good rapport, and they have been very supportive to us under the leadership of Mheshimiwa Mvuria and his PS Elijah Mwangi. They have an open door policy for us. They listen to us, and they have really supported us. Otherwise, we would not have gotten where we are. We also have our corporate sponsors, Mozartbet. We have also Kenya Pipeline Company, Kenya Commercial Bank, Deep Heat, And also, we have county governments whom we have engaged, and we are still looking. Our doors are open. We want to say to the corporate entities that we have what it takes for them to gain a lot of mileage and for them to get returns on their investment. Right. Our doors are open, and as we usher ourselves into the new season, we actually don't have a sponsor for our league, and we're shopping for that one. The doors is open. Yeah.
All right. Charles Nyaberi, President of the Kenya Volleyball Federation. And President, I'm sure 23 matches starting Thursday through Sunday at the Moi International Sports Center, Kasarani, to open the 2025-2026 KVF League, including the promoted sides. So if you really love your volleyball this weekend, be at the Moi International Sports Center, Kasarani Indoor Arena. 23 matches. If you've got the time to watch all of them, you've got the start of the season. Asante sana, President.
Thank you very much.
All right. Yeah. We'll be taking a short break, and when we come back, we shall be speaking with the Deaf Olympics Tokyo 2025 Team Kenya representatives in athletics, swimming, handball, and basketball. It's time to have fun, and also time for you to learn some sign language from these sports. But first, we take the story of Lawrence Wasike, heptathlete, who's been there and has done well. And after that, we join the athletics team. We shall be with a legend of the sport, Joyce Odhiambo. I'll tell you her story as she comes on set. And also, representative athlete Sharon Jebitok will be here with us. So let's take a break. Our sign language interpreter has been Lucy Maura.